Hi, hi everyone. I'm Dr. Bart, and I'm here to interview Philip, who just finished a product management internship at Microsoft. I asked him to join me today to, well, tell his story and hopefully inspire a few of you guys to reach out, to be brave enough to try it, try the internship with Microsoft. Don't be discouraged because there will be many candidates, but well, it's for everyone, and just be the best to get it like Philip did. So, hi, Philip. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Bart. Honored to be here.
So, tell me about yourself. What did you study, and what did you do in your internship?
Okay. Well, my name is Filip. I'm doing information systems and technologies major at University of Belgrade. There, I have represented University of Belgrade at numerous business case study competitions, also competitive debating. There I have honed some skills that I believed helped me get this internship and be good at being a PM. I hope so. And that are business acumen, critical thinking, and problem solving. Other than that, I have some professional experience prior to product management. Those were coming from FMCG industry and strategy consulting as well, which is kind of similar to product management, but without that hands-on approach of being more impactful in the sense of you are constantly developing the product and doing all the hardship and good things with it as well. So that is a short introduction from my side.
For those who don't know, FMCG stands for fast moving consumer goods, right? So it's a bit of a logistics challenge and how to make sure that you're stocked at the right time at the right place.
Well, FMCG industry, yes, it is fast-moving consumer goods, and it represents like everything from things like in retail, I don't know, soft drinks, cigars, everything
Mhm.
comes under that big tent term. But specifically in FMCG industry, I did marketing deployment, so it was a more of a analytics job than most of the things that I did in other things. But it is a really interesting thing because you learn a new industry, and it was a really not in my comfort zone because I do not come from that major or anything like that.
Sure. So why product management? Why not any other career path, let's say? Because like starting your professional life with a product management internship is a very good start. And why did you choose this particular first step?
Well, as I said, it represented a really good mixture of things that I did previously. I mean, I come from STEM major where I thought I was going to be a software engineer, but then other things like competitive debating at university and business case study competitions emerged. And I saw them as really good things because I learned a lot of the things that are not covered through the curriculum at university, and it opened new doors for me not only to be software engineer but to actually at one moment I thought I was going to be a data scientist because it seemed like the most business impactful thing that you can do at that moment, because I had no prior knowledge of product management. It was not so popular in the beginning of my studies. At least for me, it wasn't something that was known. It was much more from sides of my professors was much more pushed towards software engineering, data science, that kind of hard skills that to get. But through those competitions, I have learned about product management, and I fell in love with it because it represents best of all worlds. You're going to use your critical thinking, your problem solving, your creativity to make something that's going to be used by some people, and you're going to make their lives better. So even though I tried FMCG and strategy consulting, they have their good sides, and I liked some of the things that I learned there. I think this is the area where I have the best ability to mix all of my skills, and as a generalist that I am, to show my collaboration with other stakeholders as well. So that's probably the reason why I chose product management as well.
Well, I can see your debating experience even in your answers, though we agreed the questions beforehand. The way you formulate it, the way you speak is Well, I would say challenging my skill, which is obviously not perfect, and I still have a lot to learn. And English is not the first language for neither of us, but kudos like to be able to formulate sentences like this, like making compelling stories already at this young age. I wouldn't be
Thank you.
able to do it if we would swap places and times.
Thank you. That's really good information to know.
And honestly, at your age, I don't think I would be a good Microsoft fit. So that leads me to the Microsoft question. Why Microsoft? Did Microsoft look for interns on your university, or did you proactively seek to join the company?
Well, it's a mixture of those two things because Microsoft had an open, like there, for people who are listening here probably do not know this, but there is a huge development center in Serbia for Microsoft as well. And they are all having like 3 periods where they are recruiting people for the internship. They have having the open call for people to join. The only requirement, I think, for this specific development center is to have Serbian citizenship. So even if you are studying at, I don't know, we had people in this cohort from Hong Kong, Zurich, London, and other universities, but you're having an open call for people who are studying either software engineering, something that is related with data science. It is called like machine learning and AI internship. And third of all, this is the first time that in Serbian Development Center we had official program for PM internships. It was uh, oddly called customer development internship, but when you read the specification of the job and things that you would do, it was clear that it would be for PMs. And after that, in the contract, it was also named PM intern, not customer development intern. But that's one of those things. I saw the ad, I applied, and that's so I actively pursued the ad where it was, which is was how to say addressed to the people with interest like mine. So I suppose that are the reasons how Microsoft and I came to be. But to be more specific, why I specifically applied for Microsoft, there are three things. For one, they are one of the most innovative companies in high tech. So the opportunity to work on some of the cutting edge products is really great. Other than that, I can say that they are really good. They have really good track record in developing talent. Like people who come from university are really malleable in a way to be created in good either engineers or PMs or anything like that. So that is one of the other things that I wanted to mention. And third of all, specifically, Microsoft Development Center in Serbia has really great expertise in several areas. So I was hoping to get any of them. I would be really happy to work in those areas. So that is the thing why I applied to Microsoft.
So while Microsoft doesn't technically sponsor this video, but as an employee, Microsoft puts food on my plate, I can then do a quick plug that if you'd like your shot at Microsoft, go and check out actually careers.microsoft.com, where you can find lots of great positions all over the world and the internship opportunities for students as well. But with this short plug, let me proceed to ask you, what did you do on your internship? Obviously, without upsetting any NDAs.
Of course, of course. Well, I was a part of the team in Serbia, which was called Office Media Group, which does most of the things that are connected to videos. And their mission is to have like video as a document. So you can read whatever you want from it. But other than that, I was doing a product discovery tasks mainly there. So it was really interesting considering how many new skills I acquired at that moment, because I have done both quantitative and qualitative analysis, primary, secondary research, talked with stakeholders, everything like that. So everything that you read in PM materials, courses, books, I have managed to cram in those 3 months and to have really full PM experience in that short amount of period. So it was really great for me, as at least.
Incredible. So, for those who would like to follow your tracks, what do you think that you did other than the candidates that didn't make it? What was special about your preparation process that made you a standout candidate and be selected? Obviously, in your opinion.
Well, yeah, in my opinion, I don't know that many candidates. I know actually few who also managed to get in. So, but let me see. I think that two things come to mind. One is my background as a whole, because one of the things is PM is not that kind of much of a technical position as software engineer is. And Microsoft Development Center in Serbia has really great track record with software engineers who are really good at coding, algorithms, and everything like that. But I think that, well, because of the position of Serbia and everything like that, there is a less of a business acumen developed in our students, because Eastern Europe, as you know, is really good in developing STEM people who are like true engineers, true to their call, let's say it like
Mhm.
that. But this is a new thing, especially. I mean, product management as such is new. It's like 30 to 40 years old, and it is connected to capitalistic sense of customer centricity and everything like that, thinking of business, how to grow it, which was not really something that was developed neither in Serbia or, and I suppose in Poland as well, because of the regimes and everything, and because of communist regimes and everything like that. So that is one thing. Because of all of those case competitions that I have done and debating, I think that I was able to communicate in a way which is necessary for PM to have. Like, you need to be able to communicate with people who are highly technical, but with people who are also highly sales and business oriented, to make some connections between all of them and to present it to the upper management in order to get funding or at least understanding for your position to actually push your product further. So I think that one, it would be communication. Second of all, would be my interest that led for me to actually read and interest myself about technology and how it intertwines with business. And yeah, those are two main things. I mean, they are really broad, but I think that's the things that you need to have in order to manage to have this internship, from my opinion.
I think that the fact that you put communication as like the first differentiating factor makes me really happy, because this is the main thing I'm always trying to convey to my students when reviewing their resumes, that at least for us, for product managers, it's not about like bullet points and having like a stiff fact document. It's about presenting also your communication skills, your ability to, well, sell yourself and provide a great story even on the resume level, which is something that will go a long way in helping you later when you actually have to do the product management, have to do those emails, communications, presentations. And if you can convey that on your resume the very first moment someone reads it, that's awesome. So obviously, landing the internship is not only about good preparation. It's not only about great resume. It's also about going through the interview process. How did this go for you? Did you feel that you were succeeding? Were there any questions that took you off guard and you had to improvise your way into success? Tell us more about it.
Well, this was a really roller coaster experience, let's say it like that, because I had like 3 rounds of mm, to get to the internship. First one was CV and cover letter. I mean, I panicked and prepared for each and every part really thoroughly at that moment, because I saw this as a really great opportunity. I didn't want to miss it. So for the CV, I used probably the standard one for Harvard Business School MBA like type of CV where you're having bullet points and everything like that. Because I mean, it's kind of different in Europe, especially in Serbia, because some of the people put pictures on their CVs, and it kind of takes an important piece of real estate on that A4 piece of paper that you do not want to actually leave out. So that was one of the things. Other than that, in cover letter, really I poured my heart and soul in that, meaning to actually communicate all of those things. I mean, it's specific for me for to compete in those competitions and everything like that. But there is something for each and every individual that is connected to product management in a sense that you can communicate why are you, at least as a student, will be good enough to be at that position. So I used case competitions as something as my strength. I mean, I had like case competitions where we have done something really innovative for Philips. We have done something. I have one competition where I have developed a kind of a smart pill box with application and AI that makes it holistic and everything like that. And I communicated that in interviews as well. So that is the first part. The second thing was the stay at home homework that you bring, that they send you, and you have like 5 days to finish it. The first thing is not to panic, I would say. Even though they say, oh, this is really easy and you can do it in like 5 hours, do
They
not
can do it in 5 hours.
they can do it in 5 hours, and do not take your chance. Like, take all of the times that you have and be thorough in preparation, in the sense of read everything that was in that PDF, underline all of the words that you do not understand or you're not quite sure that you are on the same level of understanding as they are. What do they mean by those words? Find some relevant sources of information for the things that they are asking you to do, and see what are the best practices and benchmark yourself through them. And be patient, especially if you need to include other people in your homework, how to plan your time. And that is probably the my advice as well for the second round of the interview and that homework. And third of all were the interviews, which was something, one of the most stressful things that I have done probably in my life. I needed to take a shower after that. I mean, it's really crazy. uh, I had three back-to-back interviews at the moment when I knew that I have passed the second round. In the third round, I had interviews with uh, principal PM leaders in first and second interview, and it was really great in the sense of uh, I I knew only on high level what Microsoft does, and those interviews are not only for you to present yourself, but actually for you to learn something about Microsoft as well, and what do they do and everything like that. So in the first interview, I had high level system design, let's say it like that, and mock interview of customer development. So it was really challenging, but great as well, especially because it is a new problem and you're like, "Ooh, this is actually really interesting. Let me collect my thoughts on this. Let me try to answer it in best possible way." In the second interview, I had some kind of a brain picking situation where you would actually need to think about that kind of a correlation between business and technology and everything like that. And in third interview, which really surprised me, was the coding interview with the software engineer that I had. So it was something, of course, I had like in every interview, you have the part where you introduce yourself and interviewer does. And I think that the best thing is when you're having those coding interviews, people are judging you not only by the coding interview that you are having, but as well in that first part, you need to be as charming as possible, in the sense of that person who is in front of you and is interviewing you is uh, assessing whether he wants to work with you. Like, if he's an engineer and you're his PM, would he be fine working with you? And how do you convey the information, messages, and how technical you are, in the sense of, okay, this is fine. I do not need to explain each and every particular thing at the moment. So those are my probably advices for those 3 interviews that I had. After that, I received the offer for the office media group, which was fun enough. The principal PM lead who interviewed me was, after that, my mentor and manager at that moment. So those are really good things. If you show yourself like uh, good to those people and you create a rapport, you can probably get into their team. And I really liked that guy. So it was really good thing to be in the team. That was my first wish, so to say, out of the 70s that are in the MDCS.
So, if you could turn back time and you could speak to yourself beforehand, what advice would you give to yourself to make this process even easier?
Ooh, it's never easy to answer these questions, isn't it? Well, I think the first one is try to relax. That is the thing, because nervousness is your enemy. It's not going to present you in the best light, and you need to be presented in the best light possible, especially because you, as I said, especially in the interviews, when we are speaking to real humans who actually are assessing not only how capable you are for product management, but how fit you are to work in specific team or anything like that. You are not going to be presented as amicable or anything like that. You're going to look scary or anything like that. I mean, people can see through that. That's fine, but it's better to be more relaxed and present yourself like you are in a bar, but you're talking about your job.
Mhm.
Things like that. The second advice was given to me by my mentor, Tanya Petrovic, who is also senior PM in the Office Media Group. She was like, relax, you are here because somebody assessed that you are capable of doing these things. So you're going to have your moments of doubts in the process of interviews, or and especially in the process of doing an internship, where there is something that you do not understand completely, and you're like, oh, what I'm going to do, you're going to have that imposter syndrome. What am I doing among these awesome people who are understanding everything? The trick is nobody does understand everything, but they either pose themselves as they know it and ask the relevant questions to build up on their gaps in knowledge. But you need to be confident enough that you're going to manage this. Whatever the task is, you're going to manage it. Just get yourself together and it's going to be fine. So those are my advices for the people who are applying.
Funny enough, what you say like resonates with me so well that I think that if we switched places and you ask me about my journey, about my career, my answers wouldn't be that different, despite like years between us and a fact that you are at the beginning of your professional journey, and well, I hope I'm in the middle of it. So uh, that's maybe one last question. How do you see yourself after the internship? Do you think that you'll try to get back to Microsoft? Do you have like an invite to come back when you're done with your studies? And do you think that you got a very strong ticket for the rest of your career?
Well, I think to answer first thing first, yeah, I got the offer. Like, there was a higher offer to me, but the thing is, currently the hiring freeze is something that is affecting most of the companies in the world.
Hmm.
So it is also a good thing for me, because I need to finish my studies. Because if I got the offer and they said, "Do you want to start tomorrow?" I will probably at the moment's notice. But
That would be a good decision, by the way.
well, I'm going to play the devil's advocate and say it's probably better to finish your university and not to tag along with some exams that are up there. But of course, I would accept it. Other than that, I hope when the junior PM position is open, they're going to call me because I got the offer, and especially because Microsoft Development Center in Serbia has the practice, even though there is no opening in your specific team where you have worked, even though they
Mhm.
have a preferential call if there are people who are also applying for the junior PM for you. I would be fine in working in any other team that is currently in Microsoft Development Center in Serbia, because we have managed to mingle and to see what are the other teams doing, and it is really awesome how cutting edge those products are. And I would be really proud to call myself a Microsoft Development Center Serbia employee, to say it like that, because it is a really awesome opportunity. The second thing is that you have asked, if I remember correctly, how do I think that it affects my career, which is in the beginning. I think it affects me really positively. I mean, who is going to deny that? It, in the sense of it is a really big brand name. Even if I opt in to have like my startup in like 10 years or even tomorrow, I can say that I have that brand behind me. Somebody selected me to work in so important company that has a really scrutinizing and highly selective process. So it is one of those things. You are going to have a brand name. Second thing is I learned a lot. I mean, it is one thing to like watch product school videos or use Udemy courses like yours, and you're going to learn a lot, but you need to implement those things either in the passion project of yours, but this is the best version of passion project that you can have. I mean, you are working on something that is going to be used by millions and millions of people, and you can be really proud on that, and it is a really good thing when it is implemented to say, this is something that I worked on, and my inputs were crucial for it to be shipped, to say it like that. So that is the second thing. One is the glory of working in Microsoft, like having that brand name. Second of all is the thing that you learn there. So even though if you do not work in Microsoft after your internship, because I knew some people who actually rejected their offer from Microsoft to work in some startups, it is really good to have that brand come with you, and to actually, when you communicate to the other potential employers, how it is going to be, uh, how to say, branded in your CV. I'm really liking the cat. What's its name?
His name is Bob. It's actually Bob. Yeah, it was like he's like named after the Wolverine. He always calls people Bob if he doesn't know their name. So when my future wife asked me how shall we call this cat, the first thing that popped into mind was Bob.
Nice. So basically, that concludes my answer to your
Mhm.
question regarding the how I see my internship experience as a whole and how it affects my career.
Thank you. Thank you. That were great answers. And I think you helped a lot of people with your perspective. And if anyone has any doubts or had any doubts about joining Microsoft, I hope this video clears it up. And before
One
we
more,
finish,
one more
Mhm,
thing I would like to add. Now I remember when you say
mhm,
help other people. I remember because I come from Serbia, and most of the things that we actually tend to watch, like you are now renowned in the product community because I knew of you, because even before I started doing my internship, the thing is, most of the thing is oriented toward either people who are in the US or are studying in the developed countries, like because there are the vast majority of opportunities are there. So I would like to address the people who are coming from different backgrounds, like yours and mine, like people who are coming from either Eastern Europe, Middle East, or any kind of that not so advantaged place in regarding economy and technology. please do consider that you are worthy of those positions, especially in Microsoft and in big tech companies. Your skills are out there. You just need to be confident enough to apply to those positions. And I think that you have it. You have it in
Mhm.
yourself. You just need to find the perfect opportunity to actually use it. Don't hesitate to applying to any positions. Like Bart is working in Prague, I was working in Belgrade. I know that we are having a lot of expats who are working in those development centers as well. So I know people who were studying at universities which are not on the Shanghai list, like up so high, like MIT or and Stanford or Harvard, where you're always like when you're looking all those interviews, people are always from those universities. I studied at Yale, and after that, I got my internship at Google, and after that, Microsoft, and everything like that. I mean, we come from universities which are highly respected in our countries, both Bart and me, but it is not widely recognized in the Western world, to say it like that. But when you are applying, if you are knowledgeable enough and you manage to pass all of their tests, they are going to invite you. So do that. Please do not think that you are coming from disadvantaged background because you're coming from a known university from your country, but not in the worldwide sense.
I couldn't agree more, especially now in 2020s. It's, at least for our region of the world, it's no longer about premium education. It's no longer about families, contacts. It's about skill. It's about what you learned, what you can bring, your own talent, your own passion, the communication skill to convey that. And this is your zero to hero journey that you can take. And funny enough, I asked you, Philip, to tell people who may any doubts or fears about product management, internship in general, to help them. But it turned out to be a love letter to Microsoft and to to the job itself. And it's like speaks volume. Like no one in Microsoft asked us to take this conversation. It's pretty natural, and there's no scripts. There's just few questions that I prepared beforehand. So
Exactly.
seriously, like all what you're hearing is coming directly from our hearts. So don't don't be afraid. Try your best. Invest in yourself, and the world is up for grabbing right now.
Exactly.
And maybe to riff on that, do you have any questions to me that I can repay, so I can repay your time you invested in this interview?
Well, I think that things that you do for the community, like writing all of those dissections of the products, like tear downs and everything like that, Udemy courses and everything like that, are really giving back to the community. So, in the sense, even before this interview, I have managed to like take in a lot of knowledge from people like you, Diego Granados, and people who are actually really making this community grow. In the sense, this is becoming like open source community. You are always going to be able to find people who are going to help you with your problem, and to make it more understandable. And people are always coming out from completely different backgrounds but are able to help in different ways. So I have no specific questions like the to convey about the product management. I always like the things that are more like personal but could be applicable to you, like the things that you have talked about, the recommendations. Like I was thinking, oh no, I have no recommendation in Microsoft, how is it going to work for me and everything like that. So you explained this, how that scheme works. I mean, of course, we talk in this interview like this is the only thing talking about Microsoft, but it's not. It's basically because this is my experience working at internship there, but I think this applies for most of the companies that are out there who are working in big tech and everything like that. So please take it with a grain of salt. Maybe this is something that is different in other companies, but most of those things apply, like having great communication skills, being able to do it in any kind of firm. I mean, startups have their own advantages as well. You're going to be much more able to roll out more things and everything like that. So do not feel like this is our invitation for Microsoft and only for Microsoft. You are going to have majority of companies who are also going to give you really great experience at that moment as well. So this is my way of thanking you as well for this interview and all of the things that you do for the community.
And well, welcome to the community. Well, because you I think you did very well. So thank you again. And
Yeah,
well, I hope that you will keep growing. That I'll get you to talk to you in Teams or Microsoft halls again. Halls, as in not halls, but like corridors. I think my spelling failed there. And have a great weekend.
thank you. You as well.
Bye bye.
Bye. As well, just in case it was from my side.
Okay, but do you know if your internet was bad or was it something on Skype's end?
Let's hope for the sake of your job for something.
Yeah, someone should fix that, right?
Yeah, of course.